You are now listening to episode 25 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
We are so excited to be back. We had a little week off, right?
Yeah.
But we're back. Felt weird.
Just focus on the now, man.
Yeah, let's focus on the now. So, focusing on the now, we got to talk to you about the most important part of our show. The part that, you know, it's sometimes the important things you skip over and you take them for granted, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Like
we take them for granted all the time.
Dude, we're like, oh yeah, we totally didn't do this. And here's what I'm going to do. We're going to break it down for you. The rating system of the show is very important. It's named after, the show is named after the rating system, right?
Or is the rating system named after the show?
Wow. What comes
Chicken or
first?
the egg,
It's the
my friend?
chicken or the egg. I prefer to be the chicken. So here we go.
Yes, you do.
I do. I'm just a chicken.
You're not a chicken.
I know. I'm a rooster. I'm strutting, dude. I'm strutting down the street right now. And I'm going to tell you.
All over social media.
All over social media. And I'm going to tell you about this rating system. So, man, if we really, really love a comic, like, let's say, Mr. Miracle #1, we're going to say that is a gotta go. Go pick up Mr. Miracle #1 from DC Comics. Would you agree, Matt?
Yeah, that's the best rating we can give.
Yeah. Now,
and that's also a preview of something we might talk about.
We may talk about Mr. Miracle #1. Next is a Let's Go. Now, the show is named Let's Go Comic Show because that's just in general, that's good stuff. You should be doing it anyways. And we fully support it. And so, like, maybe a comic book like Secret Empires, Let's Go. It's something current. It's going on. It doesn't mean the whole thing's great. But you know what?
Yeah.
Overall, you should check out something that everyone's a part of and something interesting stuff's going on. So that's a Let's Go.
Basically given to peer pressure. That's the point.
Given to peer pressure, you know. Now, our next is a go. It's like, it's not for everybody. And I even said that about the comic book Bug a few episodes back. And I really enjoy Bug. Yeah, I said,
That's
I think
too bad.
I gave it a go for the first issue. Second issue, I'm like, this is freaking gotta go fun.
You jumped from a go to a gotta go?
I was, because for people, it may not be for everybody.
You gotta get it. You gotta rate this thing for yourself, man.
Yeah, you know what? And you might be right. And
Maybe
so
you're
maybe
giving it
Bug
the
is
peer
a
pressure
bad
right
example.
now.
Bug is a freaking great comic book. So there you go. So I would say for me, a go would be the current Iron Fist comic book. It's really hard for me to get into.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I was going to suggest that one for a Let's Go.
Well, there you go. And so we can disagree. And then you have to just say, hey, where do your proclivities fall to? A Matt or a Justin?
I think that's where it starts to get more toward preference.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you might like it, you might not.
Yeah. So there's that. And then we get the don't go. Man, don't even buy that comic book. Why did you buy Man-Thing? We're just going to rip on Man-Thing because that's probably the worst we've read. Is there anything worse than Man-Thing?
No, nothing worse than that.
Those, those two
there's
Superman
been
issues are
anything
really
else.
bad. I'd say Superman 27 and 28
There's been any other stuff
don't
that I've
goes.
regretted that much.
Yeah. And then if it's really weird because
Unless it was Netflix Iron Fist or something.
Netflix Iron Fist. Now, that's really where we hold the line. But if it's so bad, we're like, why? There is a never go, aka a trash juice, and we kind of just give the show. We have a little segment for trash juice, and we'll get to that later. But if there is a comic book that's just so terrible, we'll go there. We'll break the 4 rules, and we'll make a 5 for don't do it. It's not going to be good for anybody. Why'd you buy it? So
Totally.
there we go.
And there we go.
So you feel good about that?
I feel good about that. I feel good that we remembered that.
I feel good that we remembered, and I
If
feel
you've
good.
listened to the last few episodes, we did not remember that. Even though on our show notes that we look at while we record, it says, we need to remember this in big, bold letters.
Yes. We're like, we'll just skip over
past
it.
it.
People know. So let's just jump into some news, man. Okay,
Yeah, let's do this.
So today, feels like every day, every week, there's some weird DC, extended universe news coming up. And today, it was reported through Variety that Suicide Squad 2 has another potential. No one signed on yet. There's no one confirmed, but that the guy who directed The Accountant and he did Warrior. There we go. I was trying to remember the other name of that movie with who was the guy who was in
that was Tom Hardy and
I can't think of the other guy's name.
I'm sure it was great though.
It's
MMA
stuff,
right?
There you go. But he also did The Accountant with Ben Affleck, and so I'm not reading into that at all. I'm not saying Ben Affleck's going to be in Suicide Squad 2 or anything. Just
Dude, I heard
right?
what you said.
Coincidence. Don't
You guys
put that
all
on
heard
Twitter.
it.
Don't put. I
You
did
guys
not
all heard
say.
it. Come after him.
Come after me, bro. Come on. Come after me, bro. So anyways, he's been on a short list after Mel Gibson and then Jaume Collet-Serra. I hope I pronounced that right. Dropped off their list. So anyways, Suicide Squad 2 has just been like, hey, we've got people interested. No one's really signed on though. So
well, the
hasn't been an
rumor is
official
it's
sign-on.
fast tracked, right?
It is fast
That
tracked.
they want to get that going in the next probably towards the beginning of 2018, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's what they said. So 2018 it has to start filming so it can come out because they got nothing else.
I just need more Killer Croc and Captain Boomerang, dude.
Oh, hold on. Are you kidding me? Are you like joking or I don't know if that was a real thing. No?
Mysteries.
I would say mysteries. I loved freaking Captain Boomerang.
I loved Captain Boomerang. I liked Killer Croc until he started talking.
I wanted to love Killer Croc.
I loved how he looked.
He looked fantastic.
Until he started waddling into that water at the end. That was really ridiculous.
Nah, I didn't mind that.
And B-E-T.
Oh, yeah, that was dumb. Yeah, come on, man. Work on Killer Croc.
Okay, okay, I liked when he said, I'm beautiful, though. I'm just gonna say.
I did like
liked that moment.
In the bar?
Yeah, it just felt like... It felt like they could have... Or maybe they were trying to strike the tone of... I hit him with a rock.
Yeah.
You know?
Gosh.
Like...
They should.
But maybe they didn't quite get that. They kind of went a little more racist route.
Yeah, it did feel a little like, okay.
Anyway, but
yeah.
Suicide Squad 2. I mean, maybe they're shooting for more Academy Awards here. You know,
Yeah.
that's why they got to
They're
get that
like,
one
We're going
going.
to put some on the mantle. Oh,
Academy
Matt,
Award
bring it
winner.
up.
Oh, can you imagine just the oh man, the reel to market Suicide Squad 2? Following up Academy Award winning
dude
original film.
If they market that way, that would be funny. You know, from the original Academy Award winning film from Suicide Squad.
Dude, I wouldn't mind that. Like if they
it would
actually,
be really fun.
I'm telling you, if they actually embraced and went make it its own thing, obviously, but go like the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of route where you actually just have fun with the concept.
Oh yeah,
because all of the marketing, the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie felt like, oh, okay, this is what it's going to be, and then it just was not.
Yeah,
at all.
I think this movie. So if this guy O'Connor does it, make it smaller, man.
Did you like The Accountant?
Yeah, I like The Accountant. I thought
it was cool.
Yeah, I feel like it was a good movie. I didn't watch it in the theater. I watched it. I think it was on Netflix or something like that.
I think we did a Redbox rental, and I was stoked on it. I thought it was really well done.
I sometimes I'm hit or miss with God, what was the girl's name again?
Oh gosh,
I can't think of her name. She's one of the trolls.
Yeah.
So side note, I have not
Trolls.
seen the movie Trolls, but I've heard the soundtrack, and
God bless you.
the soundtrack though, it's kind of catchy for kid stuff, and she's got a
It
really
is
good
the
voice
first
for singing.
20 times.
She does that one. She does those movies where they sing, and I have no idea. Kendra.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah. Anyways, Ben Affleck and her had some good chemistry in that movie. I thought.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And
Maybe
so-
she's Squirrel Girl. You know, he can.
No, she's not going to be Squirrel Girl.
No, I know.
The girl from.
I'm just throwing
This Is
rumors out
Us?
there.
Okay.
We're not even talking about Suicide Squad 2 anymore.
Anyway. Yeah. But anyways, if they do this,
Sure,
it should
why
be
not?
smaller. It should be it doesn't have to be we're going to save the world. Maybe it's we have to get something, and it's a smaller film. Give it a smaller budget and make it
Less gyrating.
Yeah.
Sky trash.
Yeah, no sky trash. We don't need to see that. But anyways, make it a smaller movie, and I think it could be kind of like a Deadpool, a movie for them, where I think creativity is pushed when your budget's a little smaller, and make something rad happen. And here's the thing: I don't want Joker to be in it.
No.
I understand Harley Quinn probably has to be in it in Deadshot, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
But part of me is it would be cool if it was a whole other team, with maybe Captain Boomerang and Crazy Quilt.
You know what I
that.
haven't seen done yet?
What's that?
Maybe only because my only reference so far in live action is the TV show Arrow, is Bronze Tiger.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if he was done right, he could be actually really cool.
Heck yeah, dude. There's so many characters they haven't. They can use any bad guy.
True.
The Joker has nothing to do with Suicide Squad ever in these comics.
I feel like he's
not
too
a part.
big.
Yeah, he's always the one who's either they go after. He wouldn't be a teammate. So yeah, so there's that. So anyways, so what do you say?
Suicide Squad 2.
Suicide Squad 2. I'm
Potentially
excited
Academy
for it.
Award winning.
Dude, from the Academy Award winning.
I would not say I'm excited about it.
Really?
I'm open to it.
I'm excited for like something cool. O'Connor makes me excited, but I don't know. You know, who knows, man? Next week they can go, oh, yeah, he walked away because DC doesn't know what the heck's going on, or
Dude.
I don't know.
He's like, you have how many movies in development right now?
He's like, how many? Not really, though. Okay. It's like, dude, just tell me Man of Steel.
I already got to do this accountant sequel, man.
Right? So who knows, dude? But
oh well,
seems good. Okay, so other news. This happened yesterday. Was it yesterday? Star Wars 9. They'd fired their freaking director, man.
Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, that seems
Jurassic World director.
Yeah, but I guess he had another movie that came out that bombed.
Oh,
and I
don't know. This is kind of weird, man. 2 movies in a row that things have gotten shuffled around. Hey, at least they hadn't started filming yet.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already been on. No, he's been on pre-production for a long time, for like 2 years, dude, to get this thing going. And so I feel like that's, you know, he's put a lot of his life in there. But he did that movie, The Book of Henry. That's what it was, Book of Henry, and it's kind of bombed, dude.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it came out it came out in the summer, I think, and just kind of came and went. But I don't know. A lot of people said, "Oh, he got fired because his movie bombed." I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that's a thing.
It's probably the whole creative differences thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the stuff that happened with the Han Solo movie kind of came into play, and they might go, "We really need people that get the vision of Star Wars, that get what the heck what we're doing." And so,
which is really interesting because I liked Jurassic World. I felt like it honored
there's people out there
the good of what it came
hate
before.
That movie.
Wow, really?
I saw a lot of people go, "Oh, so I guess the people that make Star Wars finally saw Jurassic World," or something like that. And it was like, I don't have a problem with Jurassic World. I thought it was a fun movie, dude.
I liked it. What I was gonna say is there is this spirit of like honoring what came before, but trying to say like set things up to move in a new direction, which I feel like is what you're gonna need for Episode 9.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever, man. Maybe he just wanted a whole lot more like punk rock or something like that in there, and they didn't like that.
No, dude. Who knows, dude? But yeah, I know people are like, Rian Johnson should do it. The guy who's doing the current one that's coming out.
Yeah,
so,
or J.J. Abrams. Saw that name being thrown around again too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to see him do it again.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to. Yeah. Force Awakens was great. Let it be its own thing, man.
Yeah. So,
who would you pick to do this?
Zack Snyder.
Are you serious though? Like no, like a serious.
I'm not.
Pick.
Okay, let me.
Not
I'm
like,
not
hey,
being
this
silly.
would
I'm kind
of
of being silly, but I'm kind of not like, man, his lightsaber scenes would be awesome.
They'd be so dark. All you would see would be the lightsabers.
No way, dude. You're mean.
And it would be all
I'm not
gray
saying Zack Snyder writes this. I'm saying he works with the Lucasfilm writers, like the people that like are like, hey man, I'm gonna write this movie, and Zack Snyder, we want you to direct this one because this is the finale and it's gonna be way awesome. So I think maybe he works with like the Lucas team or whatever. But that being said, I don't care who directs it. I like Star Wars, but I'm not like Star Wars. Like I don't like wake up every day looking for Star Wars movie.
You can't think of like you don't want to see
Robert Zemeckis,
Christopher Nolan take it over.
No, because he would reboot it. He'd be like, the only way I'm doing this is if they don't make
this one's
10.
not connected.
This
to
one's
anything
not
else.
connected to anything. He would be like, at the end of this movie, everybody, all the Star Wars characters fly off into the fourth Death Star, and they all blow up and die. Except
for one
they
guy
all escape. One guy
who finds
the escape pod,
the basement where,
and it's like it's C-3PO. How do we know that he got away? And it's like, what do you mean, R2? What do you mean he programmed the pod?
My real name is Skywalker.
Oh no. Oh, that's funny. All right. Anyways, no. I don't know. I really don't know. Like someone who's got.
I know we don't know. I'm just saying, like,
I don't
if
know
you
who
could pick,
I'm like.
Here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This is ridiculous and it'll never happen.
Okay.
But I say change it up, go a different route, right? Get some new blood in there.
Uh-huh.
Edgar Wright.
Oh dang.
It totally wouldn't work because he would make it an Edgar Wright movie and it would feel completely different. But man, I would love to see that dude. Dude, the way that guy makes movies, like I would tell me you don't want to see a movie that he's directing that takes place in space.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be awesome.
Maybe he does like Guardians of the Galaxy 4. Comes back to Marvel. Come on.
Dude, I feel like you just downgraded him. Like, yeah, you could get the fourth. You could get the third sequel of this one. Not
Maybe
even an original thing.
I don't know. Maybe Jordan Peele. I'm just trying to be.
Why not, man?
Why not, dude? Someone else.
I feel like it's not an opportunity they're going to take advantage of, but it is an opportunity to shake things up if they wanted to. Patty Jenkins.
Oh no, she's doing Wonder Woman too.
Oh yeah, dude, we got to clear that schedule.
Yeah, man, we got to make sure she does it. All right. Anyways,
so another news piece. Moving on from movies, we have a Justice League International Omnibus Volume 1 hitting comic shops at the end of September.
Man,
and what we have right now, we know what issues it collects, right? Justice League number 1 through 6, Justice League International number 7 through 25.
Yeah,
Justice
which is
League
basically
America. That's
the same thing. Yeah,
the same thing, right?
Yeah. It
and then 26 through 30, Justice League Europe and Justice League International Annuals number 1 through 3. And the biggest thing that got us excited about, Justin and I were talking about before we started recording, was Kevin Maguire drew a new cover.
And I'll put that on the show notes.
Is delightful. So we'll put a link up so you can see that. But so definitely an homage to the original. Yeah. Gosh, was that issue 1?
Yeah. And here's the best thing apart. Like Justice League International was like my real. Like I remember buying I bought the first trade. I think I was like 12 years old, and I bought it only because Batman was on the cover. That was like, oh, Batman's in this, and I was like reading it, blowing my mind. Like, who the heck are these guys? My first introduction to Guy Gardner, who's like my favorite Green Lantern now because he's just such a jerk, but you just love him.
Was Plastic Man part of it at one point?
No, Plastic Man wasn't a part. It was Elongated Man.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, Elongated Man. He was part of the Justice League Europe team, and so I became completely in love with this book. And the thing is, when I started reading these comics, it was actually winding down. There was a series, a big like 12 part like series called Breakdown. Like at the end of like the original lineup, and so I came in right at the end of this series, and I bought so many back issues and started reading it because it was a fun book, and there was like drama and stuff going on. They mixed up the drama really well, but with like just the characters were like fun. They felt
like hijinks.
Yeah, there were a lot of hijinks with Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, like
So can we set this up a little bit for people that maybe aren't familiar as much with it? So. This was written by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis, right? Mm-hmm. And art by Kevin Maguire, and that started in 1987.
Yeah.
And so we have a new role, actually not role, but a roster, rather, for the Justice League.
Yeah.
And so Batman was kind of the main connection, right? Other than that, it just went to all of the kind of like B-listers and down.
Yeah. Well, what happened was this was around the time of they just rebooted it with like Crisis of an Infinite Earths, and then they did this thing called Legends, I think a year later, and they had no access to anybody. They couldn't use Hal Jordan. They said, no, you can use Guy Gardner, but you can't use Hal Jordan. Couldn't use Superman. Couldn't use any of the characters they wanted. So we have... But they said you can use Batman.
Well, hey, and that's all anyone really wants these days.
At that point,
at that point and at this point. So what was kind of the main roster there? So we talked about we have Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, we have Guy Gardner, Martian Manhunter had a pretty big role in that.
Yeah, Mr. Miracle, he was part of the first in Captain Marvel. The first 7 issues, that was basically the team.
Okay. And Mr. Miracle wasn't until a little later.
No, Mr. Miracle was in. He was in there from the beginning. It was cool because Oberon, his little buddy, and they were like, this would be a good thing for us. And so to be a part of this team. And so there was a lot of like that going on. And
so it's almost like PR for him.
Yeah. And Black Canary was in it. And so it was pretty cool. It was such a great freaking book. And at the end in issue 7, I'm spoiling a little bit for you guys. So like if you haven't read any of this stuff, sorry, but it's been out for so long. Maxwell Lord, which this was the best version of Maxwell Lord. Huh?
30 years to be
30 years, yeah. It's been out for 30 years. You know, to me, it feels like it wasn't, but again, because I didn't read in 87. I started reading it in like 1992, 93 or whatever. And so Maxwell Lord kind of puts this team together. And he's manipulating. So he's got the power to manipulate. And
that's kind of the mysterious part of the plot where you're like, what's actually going on? Because it's easy to get distracted by like all the funny stuff that happens. I mean, this is a classic moment where Guy Gardner's mouthing off to Batman. He's like, fine, take off the ring and let's go at this. Yeah. And Batman knocks him out with one punch.
Yes. And that's, some people have like heard of this one punch, and that's where it came from.
Yeah. And they've used that line multiple times over the years to call back to that moment.
Yeah.
But you also had Fire and Ice.
They came in at when it
Captain
hit
Atom.
International. Yeah, Captain Atom came in. Let's see. It was Captain Atom and Red Rocket. So Rocket Red, sorry. Rocket Red came in.
Elongated Man.
He didn't come into the team until it hit.
Was he
Europe.
later?
He was Europe.
Oh, okay.
And so Dr. Fate was a part of the original team too, but he split. Once it hit episode 7, issue 7, he took off. Even Batman kind of like was a little more, he was still in it here and there, but it was, the main team was, John Jones was leading it.
Guy Gardner.
Captain Marvel took off too. He was only in it for like 6 issues, and then he flew off. He was like, peace out, because they kept calling him Captain Whitebread and stuff. It was really funny.
And that's where Martian Manhunter, that's where they really delved into his love for Oreos, right?
Yeah. So the love of Oreos, Beetle and Booster, like Blue and Gold team, was really fun. Booster wasn't a part of the team until I think issue 4 or something, but he was like, Maxwell Lord's guy. He was pushing him again. Yeah, man,
it's so fun, man.
Dude, seriously,
there's a lot of fondness there for both of us. I think.
Love it.
And I read it because you gave me the books like a few years back to read. Like, dude, you got to check these out.
Did you read, which ones did you read?
It was so fun. I feel like I read all the way up until Justice League Europe.
Okay.
It was a decent amount.
Okay. What I will tell you, I'm trying to remember. Adam Hughes jumps on here too at a point, and Adam Hughes' art is beautiful. And for him to do actual interiors, that's great. Yeah. And why I want to get this is because some of the Adam Hughes stuff, I felt like in the print runs got really blotchy because of how they made the comics back then. Oh, okay. So I remember there being a lot of blotchiness in some of this stuff. But
so you think they're going to be cleaning?
Oh yeah,
up a little bit?
This is kind of like getting like that Blu-ray,
the high def.
And I have like all of these issues, like single. I have every one of these issues in boxes in my garage.
And you're just going to give it all up for Omnibus?
No. So I did buy collected editions just because I don't like to dig in to my box if I can just read these off the shelf.
Right.
I'll sell my collected editions because I think I have up to volume 4 for an Omnibuy, because this thing's probably going to have like extra stuff in there. And
oh yeah, and that extra, and like we said, like that new cover is really nice.
That thing wraps all the way around too. Because we saw that there was a picture we saw on like Bleeding Cool, and just seeing the characters on the Bleeding Cool image is really cool, man. Like, that Kevin McGuire, man, he was literally like unknown at that time, and he can make a face, dude. And so it just keeps getting better and better, that book,
Yeah, and I think what I would say, and we don't have to go too deep into this, but what this, I feel like, is a great example of is kind of working yourself into a corner creatively makes you do really great things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, like, I don't have the best to work with. I have these guys to work with. So how do I so it forces you to, like, really make something special out of it, because you can't get lazy and be like, well, it's Superman, it's Wonder Woman, it's Flash. You know what I mean? And not that you have to be lazy just because you have those, but I think you can see the work put in there by Giffen and DeMatteis. Like, that it's like, no, like, this is what we have to work with, and we're going to make it really good.
Yeah, and they did.
I think it was formative, man.
Like, it was it's probably one of my favorite comic series. Even Justice League Europe was good. Like, some people say it wasn't as good. Thought it was good. Bart Sears' art. Yeah. Team was strong. It was I think Captain Atom. It was different, that team. Though. Captain Atom. It was Flash.
Animal Man?
Animal Man was in it. Wonder Woman was in there for a little bit, and then she left. Elongated Man.
Did Big Barda come in at some point?
I don't remember.
It was just Mr. Miracle.
No, Mr. Miracle didn't go to Europe. It was not that I remember. It was Crimson Fox was in it, who they did a terrible version on, that DC Powerless show.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Crimson Fox was in there. Rocket Red ended up going to the Europe team though.
Okay.
And he was a really cool character. Like, just when I think about that, and Power Girl, she was on that team. When I think about that team, it makes me feel like, oh, dude, those are my old buddies. It sounds really dumb,
totally.
but reading it was like you were so invested into these characters. I know we got on.
Here's the thing:
really
everybody
this,
listening to this has a book or a movie that makes them feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same thing.
Yeah. No, you're right, dude.
It's a story and characters that were developed well, that had a story that was compelling, and it means something to you.
Yeah, dude. I hope they make a poster or something of that.
Ooh,
Metamorpho. Yeah. Oh man, that whole book was cool. Dr. Light. She was in there. I think she was.
So if we're recommending this to people,
this is a freaking gotta go right here.
Okay.
I'm telling you guys, if you like good artwork, a funny story. I mean, a lot of this is set in the early '80s, so it's in the Cold War and stuff. And there's a lot of like, there's Superman. Superman's actually in it.
Jokes.
Yeah, he's actually in it, and they do a good job of like using him. And Hal Jordan actually shows up a little bit too, like to go check on Guy Gardner, and they're like, "Oh, okay," which is actually a really funny scene. But the stuff with Superman and Ronald Reagan's really funny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's just some good stuff, dude. Good comics. So go if you get it on Amazon right now, because you can save like pretty much
pre-order
50% on it.
Yeah, it's almost half off, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Or go to In Stock Trades. You can get it there. So yeah. Whew, sorry, we went a long time on that, but
no, it's fine.
It's an omnibus. There's a lot of stuff there.
Do you want to? I think it's time, man.
It's
I
time.
think we've stuck with the good stuff long enough. It's time for trash juice.
It's time for trash juice. All right, we haven't done any trash juice in a while because we're not actively
just
looking
keeping it
for
positive.
crap. Yeah, man, we're having a good time talking about comics that we love. But let me tell you, I jumped into the deep end of some trash juice. No, even when someone's like, "Hey, man," like we're trying to tell you,
since,
I have showered,
recovered.
But when someone's like, "Man, just don't watch it. It's terrible," right? Don't do that. And so this Batman and Harley Quinn like animated movie came out, right? And it actually debuted at Comic-Con. No one said anything. There wasn't a single. I didn't hear anything about it. It was good.
You didn't see like articles and stuff
Nothing,
about it, right?
Dude. It was
just
very
no
quiet.
Reports.
Like someone was out there like, delete all these articles.
So this is like, just to give context, right? Again, this
based
is
in the Timverse, the DC animated universe. Bruce Timm,
it's
artwork.
like Batman the animated series. So
yeah,
it's right in line with that stuff.
It's Batman. It's Harley Quinn. It's Nightwing. And they're going.
The voice of Batman is present.
It's Kevin Conroy. It's the guy who did Robin's voice. I can't think of his name right now. That guy. And then the girl from Big Bang Theory is doing Harley Quinn's voice. She does an okay job.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Before I completely tell you why it's trash juice, I'll give it some good stuff. I didn't think the animation was bad. Nightwing lost his mullet. I like how they made Nightwing. They kind of gave him white pupils. So I like that a little bit. Okay. It was interesting. They brought the old style Batmobile back. Like, you remember they did the new Batman, the animated series? They had a different Batmobile
than the original Batman, the animated series.
Yeah, it was a different Batmobile. And so it's really the new animation style, but they brought the old Batmobile back. It's kind of cool. There was a scene where Harley Quinn does karaoke at some bar, and she's singing this old song. Like Blondie covered it. I forget who did the original version, but it's called "Hanging on Telephone." Anyways, I thought that part was kind of funny. Other than that, it was pretty terrible, man. Like they could have cut a lot of stuff out and made it good. And the part that twists the most in the heart is that this is the 25th year anniversary of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that. And just kind of just hit me, because yesterday was the actual 25th day, like the anniversary. And I'm like, this is what they put out for the 25th anniversary? Not that they've said that or communicated that, but I'm like, they could have done something way better. And this was it skirted the line of like decency and
in what ways?
Just some of the language was like a little, it was not for kids. This is definitely not a kid friendly movie. Don't watch it with your kids because they're gonna be like, oh, why did so and so say this? And we're trying to keep it PG on the Let's Go Comic Show, but yeah, there's language involved, and there's like precarious situations that are insinuated between Nightwing and Harley Quinn. And really, it didn't need to go there. And there's been people that said, oh, but if you watch it as a parody, that's okay. But I'm like, it's not a parody though. This is
I was going to say, was it set up or marketed?
This is straight up as like...
I haven't seen it, so I'm letting Justin kind of take the wheel.
Yeah, and I blame freaking Ryan Haas. Every time I mention Ryan Haas, freaking Ryan Haas, and he's a good guy. And he's all, hey man, have you seen it? I was like, no. He's all, well, I'll send you my digital code. I'm like, all right, so... And I now have it. So
that thing's now on your computer.
It's on my computer. It is in my history, and I have it. And so I'm like, will I ever rewatch it? I don't know. I would be interested to edit it and make a version of it that isn't terrible. Cut out some of it.
So what would you cut out?
I would cut out a lot of I would cut out the language. Cut out Harley Quinn farting in the Batmobile. Like, it sounds funny, but it was really dumb. You know, it got them to pull over and go into the bar where they had it was kind of funny seeing Nightwing like tapping his hand or Batman tapping his hand, and then seeing Nightwing kind of dance with some girl. I didn't mind some of that stuff, but overall the movie was pretty terrible. And it brought Swamp Thing in. That was cool to see Swamp Thing in.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, it was...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had to stop... Yeah, spoilers here. They had to stop Poison Ivy and Jason Woodrow from trying to create the, plant monster men all over the world. And so there is a little cameo. See, there's stuff that I liked where there's a cameo of Booster Gold on the phone talking to Batman. And they're like... It's funny because there's like subtitles of Nightwing going, no, man, that guy sucks. Because they're like, who can help us out? And like, well, everyone's off in space doing something, and half the league's in Atlantis for a christening for Aquaman. So-and-so is available, and Nightwing's like, no, he keeps like doing these things, and there's subtitles going, no, that person sucks, they're lame, no. And then Booster's like, I can go down there, and Batman's like, no, we're actually good, And so part of me's like, man, Kevin Conroy, you signed on for this? You read this script and like, I'll be a part of this. Unless he was like, it looks funny. I don't know, man. Overall, I thought it was trash juice.
So is this one thing where you would say it's so bad that it's good?
It might be. If maybe if we all were sitting around watching it, we might laugh and go, "Oh, that's funny." But like, is this what they wanted to put out in the legacy of Batman?
Like a story that you needed to tell?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking, some fool is going to go to Target and buy this for his kid and be like, "Oh, hey, let's watch this," and then be like, "What in the heck?" Even though it clearly says it's not for kids. If they would have done it in a different style, maybe it would have worked better. I don't know. And maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it needed to be in this style. I'm conflicted on the whole purpose of it. And so that's why I'm giving it a trash juice.
So I'm going to jump in for a quick trash juice.
Dang, dude. We all
as
have
well.
trash. We're in that giant trash compactor in Star Wars.
Wading into it. We've made our feelings about the TV show Gotham known for the most part,
to
right?
the world.
Yeah. Got ham. Not a fan. It's just,
I don't like it.
So many reasons. So many. And too much of that show happened before we started making this podcast for me to make it worthwhile to go back and discuss all of the problems. Needless to say, I tried watching an episode or two, and that's about as far as I made it. So, but you can't escape, the news cycle these days. So you see Gotham season 4 ramping up for the marketing there. And part of that is, hey, we're not going to tell Batman's story, but here's freaking teenager Bruce Wayne in a proto-Batman suit that looks horrible. This costume is trash juice, dude. You've seen this, right? Yeah,
dude. When I first saw it, I was like...
What does it remind you of?
For me, I even actually put a little meme out. It looked like Steel from 1997.
The Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah.
What? Yes. See, now what I was thinking was Kick-Ass. I was thinking Big Daddy. Looks a little mini Nicolas Cage. Dude, I pulled it up again just to make sure. Just light him on fire, man. That'll make the costume look better.
Oh, man.
So basically we have Steel Little Daddy. Just call him Little Daddy. It's bad, guys. Nothing in this inspires me to check out the show.
Yeah,
I've written it off. I'm staying away.
Yeah.
This costume is trash juice.
Anyways, there you go. There's our trash juice for this episode of the Let's Go Comic Show. But let's talk about some good stuff, Matt.
Let's talk about some comics.
Okay.
And before we talk about our comics that we're going into.
Yes.
Sometimes when you go into a comic shop, you get your comic books, they throw them in the bag, and they throw a little, maybe a little extra marketing stuff, like free little stuff to let you know what's coming up to kind of persuade you to buy it. And there's a big old book of Marvel Legacy previews
Yeah.
for free here. And so we could talk through a couple of them, which is kind of fun. But the main one that stuck out to me is we have a new Captain America book written by Mark Waid.
Hey, comic royalty.
Yeah. Chris Samney doing the art. And
he's awesome.
the cover art like really stuck out to me. It just looks really good, really clean, classic Captain America.
Yeah.
Justin has not heard...
I have not heard this. He was about to read it to me, and I said, "Don't read it to me." And then I
Save it for
slapped
the
the book
show.
out of his hand. I said, "Put that down, that Richie."
Save it for the show. That's what we
Yeah.
tell each other. So you want to hear the blurb about what this
Oh, I can't wait.
this special Marvel Legacy story is going to be?
Yes.
And tell me if it makes you think of anything, maybe that has happened in the past that maybe
Okay.
didn't go so well.
Oh man.
Spinning out of the pages of Marvel Legacy #1, Home of the Brave begins. And Steve Rogers is back in action
Yes,
in
he
the red,
is.
white, and blue.
Yes.
Steve begins a journey across America to restore his tarnished reputation, and the dangers he encounters along the way are unlike any he's faced before.
Okay.
Do you think he's walking
This reminds
across
me
America?
of freaking Superman? Is that what you're getting at when
Yes.
J. Michael Straczynski did Superman walking across America?
Grounded.
Those are the worst Superman comics in the last
Hey guys, we have this really big problem with
80
Superman. We
years
need to
of
make him more
Superman.
relatable. Let's make him even more of a wiener,
dude.
Walking
You know what
across
that? You know what?
America.
Oh, dude. You know what that reminds me of? You know how I said I'm not a big fan of Superman. I love Superman Rebirth. One of my favorite comic books coming out.
Yeah.
Issues 27, 28 were the most terrible issues ever of that series. They've tarnished it.
Did he
I
walk
don't care.
across America?
No,
and fix
but
people's
they
problems?
flew across America in a Winnebago. Sometimes Superman picked it up and flew it.
Look at this
Oh,
art.
gosh.
Doesn't this Captain America art look great?
Yeah, Chris Samney, Mark Waid, great team.
How
They
good
did
does
Daredevil.
that story idea sound?
Terrible. Like right there, he's like fighting like Nazi Hydra looking dudes. And part of me is like, did he see them at a mall where he was walking? He was like, hey, there's some Nazis over there. I'm going to go fight them. But yeah, that, you know what? It could be good. It could be like, maybe he goes on adventures. The Superman was not good. Superman literally played basketball with some kids. And I thought it was so dumb. I could see the image in my head where he's like spinning a basketball on his finger. And he let
Oh my gosh.
these
Yes.
kids loose. It was terrible. Oh, there you go.
Man.
So yeah, that I'll
Yeah.
give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Captain
what else
America,
is going
man.
on?
We have Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #13, which
What?
apparently it's 8 years later, and him and Mary Jane Watson, or Mary Jane Parker, I guess.
Yeah.
They both have spider powers, and they have a super-powered daughter, Annie,
Yeah.
who is now in high school. And so they're swinging around the city together.
That's cool.
No idea what the heck is going on with that.
So is that a separate timeline where they're still
Who the
married?
heck knows, man?
I've heard of that comic. I just don't read anything about it.
Charles Soule is going to keep going on Daredevil.
Yes, dude. Okay,
The Punisher is officially in War Machine armor.
that looks cool. Okay, let's pause real quick.
What?
Remember, I think last episode I was like, I picked up Daredevil. No, I'm not going to buy Daredevil anymore because I'm just going to buy Defenders.
Yeah, that was a couple
'cause
episodes ago.
I picked up the last issue of Daredevil. It was like Daredevil 25 or something. Because that cover looked so good, and I was intrigued. And I made it the cover of the week on our Instagram. So follow us on Instagram if you want to see stuff like that. We're going to start putting covers of the week. And that comic was so good. So today I bought the next issue. I'm just saying, sometimes a cover will draw you back in.
It's
And
true.
I'm glad I did because the storyline is actually really cool. And I highly recommend you guys checking out Daredevil by Charles Soule. And it's just so good. Okay.
Well, there you
Anything
go.
else popping out? Oh, okay. So Punisher as War Machine? I'm cool. Looks cool to me.
Sure. Why not?
Put a skull in the Iron Man costume.
I feel like it's kind of
Looks
weird,
rad.
but whatever.
It's
Dude,
cool.
you can say what you want
I'm not
about-
going to buy it. It just looks
about
cool.
Iron Fist, but the next arc of Iron Fist,
It's a good.
Sabretooth is going to be in it.
Oh, nice.
Because apparently, I didn't know this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but they were saying that he's back in the comic book in which he debuted.
He debuted in Iron Fist?
I don't know.
Does Marvel have the rights
That's
to
what Marvel is trying to tell me, I guess.
They're trying everything. They're like, we got to get the rights back to the
Gotta
X-Men.
get these guys,
They're like, you
man.
know what? Sabretooth debuted in Iron Fist. And Sabretooth is like, I've watched your show. It's terrible. I will challenge you to a duel.
Yeah.
There you go.
So who knows, man? But I think we wanted to talk a little, in moving into talking about some other current comic book series. Captain America kind of pulls us into that because what's been happening this last week, Justin, a lot of honoring of Jack Kirby has been happening.
Yeah, last week he turned 100. Well, he's dead, but he would have turned 100. Let me pour one out for Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby! So...
Hey, yo, Jack!
Yo, Jack! What's up? Jack Daniels for Jack Kirby. No,
so what did Jack Kirby do for gosh, it's a bummer to think that people don't realize, but it's a reality.
He pretty much created everything. Seriously, like
every comic book superhero that you enjoy.
Probably love I will say this, like every Marvel movie that you love, Jack Kirby is a part of, like most of it. You know, he didn't do Guardians, but Captain America, check. Iron Man, like Hulk, you know, all of these characters he created X-Men, and for DC he did all of the Dark Side. That's Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Mr. Miracle, we just talked about Jack Kirby, like all the New Gods, Jack Kirby. You know, that's why he went to DC.
Lots of nice weird stuff.
Yeah, so Thor, Jack Kirby, like everything is Jack Kirby. So if you love comics or even familiar with like, oh, yeah, I like comics, they're cool. Jack Kirby, I mean, they call him the King, Jack the King Kirby. He's like the guy. And
so much of what we see now in comic books and comic book media in general wouldn't have happened without Jack Kirby.
Yeah, and you know, he was like, dude, everything. His pedigree is bananas. I mean, he's made so much stuff. He's got more, like he's made, and I say this is like a respectful thing. He's made more terrible things
than other people have.
Than other things have made good things. Yeah. Because he's just made so much. I mean, I remember my uncle gave me these comics, and he was always like, Jack Kirby is like the best. And he gave this Machine Man. It was called Machine Man. It was terrible. I could have cared less about.
But that was like a hallmark of Jack Kirby though. Like he didn't really stay on anything for too long. Like he was always moving on to new ideas and creating new things.
Yeah. You know what was cool is they really honored him in the Superman the Animated Series cartoon with Dan Turpin. He was like one of the cops. He was really based on Jack Kirby.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So like The Thing. Gosh, dude, like Fantastic Four, everything is Jack Kirby, man. Ant-Man. I could just start reading names and people just like, oh, okay, that's Jack Kirby. So anyways, just to give you guys just an understanding, Big Barda, Jack Kirby.
Yeah, there you go.
Black Panther, Jack Kirby.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there you go. See,
Black
I didn't
Racer,
know that one.
Jack Kirby. It's just everything. Captain America. So he made Captain America with Joe Simon. So it was not Stan Lee at that time because
Stan Lee was primarily in the 60s.
Well, I think someone went to war. I don't know if Jack Kirby went to war, like did Captain America, went to war, came back, and then did the Avengers with Stan Lee. And they're like, well, let's bring that guy back.
Nice.
That's how it went down.
Yeah. So, I mean, pulling in that connecting point with Captain America.
Yes.
Justin just finished reading the last issue of Secret Empire.
Yeah.
Right before we started recording. Since we didn't get to record last week, that was when Secret Empire number 10 came out.
Yeah.
This
sorry about that.
Could you give quick context for those who care and maybe aren't going to skip ahead because we're talking about comic books right now.
Yeah. Oh, we'll spoil
you know who
too.
You are.
Yeah.
We're going to spoil this. So
Justin Party.
But hey,
I'll call you out.
So we have 10 issues contained in this story, right? Miniseries. Mm-hmm. The main premise is
it was 10. It was that 0 issue, huh?
It was 10 issues and the 0 issue, so it really was 11 issues.
Oh my gosh, that's right. 11.
Too many is the answer to that question.
Too many.
So we have 10 issues. The main gist of the story is we have the embodiment of the American spirit, right? Captain America.
Yes.
He represents America, right? Everything good about it. He is patriotic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Patriots. Sorry.
I don't know what I'm saying, man.
I was like, what are you trying to say, buddy? Okay.
I don't know. No one's going to know because I'm going to cut that out.
There you go.
They're going to just hear you referencing something that's not there.
I'm like, what did he say? He's a jerk.
So you have Captain America. What happens is through some wibbly wobbly stuff happening.
Dude, I've read it all and I have forgotten most of it and lost and confused.
So here's the thing. If you don't know what we're talking about and you've seen the Captain America movies, you know in the first movie the Tesseract is
The
otherwise,
Tesseract.
Otherwise known in the comic books as the Cosmic Cube.
Yep.
So at some point in recent history, before Justin and I started reading some of these Marvel books, a Cosmic Cube became sentient, and took the form of a young girl.
Yeah.
So what she did is she restored...
What's her name again? Kubo? Kubis?
Kubic.
Kubo.
Cubic? I'm guessing Cubic.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like cube.
Cube. There you go.
So Cubic restores...
Stanley Kubrick.
Captain... Oh my gosh, dude. This is going...
She made movies. Sorry.
So this young girl, eyes wide shut, makes... It's so wrong in so many ways. I'm sorry for that reference, everybody.
No, it's fine.
So she restores Steve Rogers to his previous health and youth and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But what she does is also changes his history to where he is secretly a Hydra agent. So what? Captain America is a Nazi. Even though they try to go out of their way in the story to say that Hydra isn't Nazis, Hydra's Nazis.
Yeah. Nazis.
And so right before Secret Empire, something happens to where S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of gets taken out. All these things happen. And they're like, you know what, Captain America, we're just going to let you have all the power. And so he takes that at the beginning of Secret Empire as an opportunity to shut out 3 different groups of heroes in different ways and out himself as the leader of Hydra, not even just a member of Hydra, the leader of Hydra. And this is the story we have of what happens from then on. So we haven't really talked about... I mean, I think I've rated issues here and there as I've purchased them, but overall thoughts about Secret Empire, Justin?
Man, it was like it is a lot of story, I'll tell you that. I think reading it in one sitting, I mean, it would be really hard to read in one sitting because it's freaking like 11 oversized issues. I mean, they're not just like 22-page comics. They're always pushing like 40 and stuff, right? 30-ish, 40 issues.
I think the last one was pushing 40.
Okay. A few complaints I have is the art is not consistent throughout the whole series. And that always bugs me. At least if you're...
There's 4 or 5 artists at least?
5 different artists. And they're all good artists. I feel like every artist was good. So it wasn't like... Matt may disagree with me. I enjoyed all the artists. It was just different. If they would have planned it better, I would have had different artists draw different arcs or in different parts, which they kind of did with some of the stuff.
Yeah, they kind of did.
The Forest
I think there were certain story elements where it made sense to have a different artist, but then there were other times where it was like changing from page to page, and you're like, what the heck?
What's going on?
Especially when you set up with, was it 0 and 1, or maybe just issue 1, where McNiven was the main interior artist, and that just set such a great standard. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand. Like, everything after that, I was like, oh, this is different, I guess.
Yeah.
Not to say it wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't that it wasn't good. It was just jarring, is all. And then the story was just so long that, like with Matt, I finished it today. I was like, who was that guy at the end again?
Which I feel like is an issue.
Yes.
If you get to the end of a story and you're like, who's this guy in the epilogue? Oh, wait, he was in issue 1. If it's been that long and that much has gone on to where you don't remember a key thing, and this is how you're wrapping up your story, and it wasn't even a monthly book, it was bi-weekly. So it's not like, oh, it's 12 months, I can kind of understand. It's like, no, like this was like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I don't remember.
Really long. And
because that, I would say for me, like that piece you're talking about at the end of issue 10, that didn't have the emotional impact that I'm guessing they wanted me to have.
Yeah, it didn't at all.
I was like, oh, okay.
It seemed like a nice gesture. Like, oh, they're taking care of this guy. Who's this guy that they're being nice to? What happened with this guy?
The Inhuman guy that threw up and did something. Like, I don't even remember exactly what his power was. Like, it's just so weird. Like, it just didn't have... It felt like it was asking me to feel things that felt unearned by the end of it.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. Like, I mean... Again, if any of you guys need context, like this has been a pretty divisive, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Story, right?
God, I feel like it's been going on for like a year. I mean, it kind of has.
Well, yeah, things for the story were set up through a different comic series leading up to it. But, I mean, it's it's been pretty like I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Not
it's controversial for
yes,
sure. Because people are like, Captain America's a Nazi. Everything you know about Captain America is not true. He's been a Nazi.
So you're saying
this whole
America
time.
is Nazis? Like people are just drawing parallels of
yeah,
like
well,
how could you do that to my hero and that kind of stuff. Which
yeah.
that's a whole other issue.
that's a whole
talking
other
about
it's
ownership over heroes. But
my answer is it's comic books, and he's not going to be a Nazi forever.
And here's the thing, like, and in that line, like I've firmly landed on this with any kind of storytelling is, and this actually came about like up in conversation like a week ago when I was talking to a friend about walking out of movies. I'm like, I've done it once, and it was because the girl I was dating at the time wanted to walk out, not because I actually wanted to.
Yeah.
Because for me, like any kind of story, like I want the person to tell their story, and then I'll pass judgment.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just ridiculous unless it's like, I mean, it could be something really bad or offensive or hurtful, I guess, like that you can't handle, like, and that is different from person to person. Like I don't want to degrade any of that, like, or discount any of that, but for the most part, for the most part, I say if someone's telling you a story, let them tell you the story. Yeah. And then pass judgment afterward. And in that context, I was like willing to go along with it for Secret Empire. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I never
like, sure, this is kind of crazy, but let's see where it goes. Like, I mean,
because Marvel's not going to say
shake up something for Captain America.
Captain America is not going to be a Nazi forever.
No.
You know, it's just, and so I almost feel like, come on, people, have you never read a comic book? Because guess what? Captain America was once a werewolf. Is he still a werewolf?
And he was nomad.
And he was nomad.
These other things. Like,
and he went to a secret, alternate universe, and he was there for 25 years. Like it's comics, man. Like, have fun with it. I know Nazi stuff isn't fun, but you know what they're trying to do. When they do stuff like this, when they take a character completely out of their element, from the exact opposite who they are, all they're trying to do is platform him for who he is supposed to be. They want him to walk around America and get to know people again.
Oh my gosh.
and that's what they're doing.
But that's the truth.
He's one of their number one franchises. Like,
the reason they would take a character as iconic as this and flip him on his head is because they want you to notice who he actually is and what he actually stands for.
That's why they kill Superman.
Now, did it feel earned though in this story at the end? Did that ending?
No. To be honest, like the end, it was cool. Like, again, we're spoiling Secret Empire number 10. Hey, I finally got the title right. So, the Secret Civil War,
Secret Sauce.
When he picks up Thor's hammer and clobbers like Nazi Cap, that was cool. And that was it. That was kind of like the end of the story too. They didn't really do any like, you are going to the Cosmic Cube jail or anything. It was just like, it's done. Like,
it was just done. And then they went to the Vanishing Point and they're Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And it just felt like a really weird wrap up. Yeah, it did. Especially for adding, they had one or two issues from what was currently planned.
This was added. This was one issue added.
One issue added.
And so, you're right. And
so for an issue added, it just, again, like, sticking the landing on events like this, man, is rough.
Marvel doesn't know how to stick a landing, dude. They just can't.
Because I was actually cool the whole time with the story. I'm like, man, this is crazy, and like you kind of have a cliffhanger every single issue.
It was
like cool, like keep the momentum going. But then I always get to a point where I'm reading a story where I'm like, you're running out of runway, man. Yeah. Like, are you gonna land this or? And for me, like it just gets rough, man. When people ask. Nick Spencer was who wrote this and wrote the Captain America story leading up to it. Asked him and probably some editors or publishers or whatever what was going to be the outcome, and people guessing of like, oh, well, it's going to be a cosmic cube thing, and then they're just going to reset reality to what it needs to be. And they're like, no, it's not going to be that. This is totally something. And then it's like, no, it kind of was that, actually. Like, you had the memory of Captain America comes back and hits. I mean, and here's the thing. I'll even go with that thematically a little bit of the memory of what America, if, say, Captain America stands for America, right? Mm-hmm. And we look at all the stuff that is going on that you can't turn away from, that is actually happening in America, even in the last month. And you can say, like, there's a memory of what America can be and could be, and seeing that memory clobber what it's become. Yeah. Is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll give them that for sure. But the fact that it was like a Deus Ex Machina, like, guys, like, we can't just go to that every time. Like, Like, please don't use the cosmic cube for a while, guys. Like, just stop. Like, reality altering things, like, can we not use those so much? I think that's the aspect of it where I'm like, dang, that feels like a missed opportunity there.
I will say the way this story lined up with like what's going on currently in America, I mean, you couldn't know that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of like dovetailed, I don't want to say nicely, but like thematically it dovetailed like, wow, this, you know, you do need to rise up against, you know, bullcrap like Nazis, you know, where so many people are scared to skirt the issue and like, well, and downplay things. Like, I'll say it again. Free speech is great. Everyone should have free speech. Nazis need to get punched in the face. Captain America freaking punched a Nazi in the face with Thor's hammer. It was awesome.
Dude, yeah.
so that's I mean, I can pin it in right there. The one part I was telling you that I thought was cool was from Civil War II, where
right.
Miles Morales has the vision of Captain America on the Capitol, like the steps, like him killing him. Mm-hmm. I thought it was cool that they touched upon that. And I was like, oh man, you're actually making a payoff to something that seemed like,
again, cool story, didn't stick the landing.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Civil War II.
Well, you never know. Like, you're like, oh, what's going to go on here? But then something crazy did happen, like with, you know, Black Widow showing up and
gosh, yeah, man. That moment got me.
Yeah, that was a surprise. She's coming back, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the curious thing, because apparently, I mean, that was something that kind of stayed what it was. I mean, and here's the thing too, is that it's not even like it was a bad ending. It was just super unclear. And so I think it makes it less gratifying when it
just shows her
unclear.
funeral in the end.
Yeah.
And it was like a small panel too. It was hardly like.
Yeah. And so I thought that was interesting. And then the focus was like, but we're Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But I'm like, yeah, but you didn't actually win. Remember, you guys all were beat down by the end of it. And then this Cubic like was the one that actually won the day. So how does that make you Earth's Mightiest Heroes again? So it just seemed like a lot of stuff where they needed to get to a new status quo and it didn't feel earned for me.
Yeah, I agree. It was like,
although, I mean, Hydra Cap is still around somewhere, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
so I'm like, dude, use him as a bad guy somewhere in the near future. That'd be kind of cool.
Capsy. Captain Nazi. Capsy. Hey, Capsy. That sounds too fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds too, like, fond and endearing. And
Capsy.
Like,
yeah, he's like Captain America, but he's a Nazi.
He's like Capsies.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
So I think, do you want to rate Secret Empire 10 or Secret Empire in general?
Secret Empire in general. I think when you have a complete story like that, you gotta give it just a 1 rating. And so I kind of said it in the beginning of the show. I'd just give it a let's go just for an event. It's a Marvel event. It wasn't inherently bad. It was super interesting. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, how's it gonna play out? But that ending kind of, it just doesn't. You said it. Marvel doesn't stick their landings good at all.
Yeah, it's really too bad. I mean, I think it's not the one, but a downfall of ongoing serialized stories without an end is I don't know who knows how to tell a story with a beginning, middle, and an end anymore.
Yeah.
Because they never have to. Yeah. It's like, oh, I just need to do this until the next artist or the next writer takes over, right? Yeah. And not saying, sorry, that's not fair to say that maybe the creators are that flippant. I don't think necessarily that's the case. Mm-hmm. But I wonder, with the way it's set up, the type of storytelling, if that doesn't cultivate a means of storytelling that tells an entire story and wraps it up. Is that a fair? I want to be fair. Yeah, to the people we're talking about.
I definitely I hear what you're saying. I think a lot of this stuff is set up for the next thing. Like, they have to set up Legacy right now. So they're not going to tie the bow on it for you.
They have to get to Legacy and Generations as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they want you to read the next Captain America story where he walks across America by Chris Samney and Mark Waid.
I just picture the Incredible Hulk TV show music.
Sad Hulk.
Yes. Sad Captain America. Oh, man. Can we please have a sad Keanu Captain America?
Oh, gosh. Yes.
Meme.
Somebody make that happen.
Thank you. So I'd say for my rating for Secret Empire, I would actually give it a go.
Okay. Wow.
Because I do feel like it's so open to subjective taste and if you're going to enjoy the story or not. I enjoyed it. I think that the inconsistency in the art and the amount, I didn't even touch on this yet, but I felt like there was a lot of stuff. I just got the main book, and I felt like there were a lot of story beats that
I
happened
couldn't.
outside of the book, and I was like, what? No. Like, sorry, that if you're going to make me like buy the tie-ins, like that's not cool, man. Like,
Man,
I don't
if
need
anyone
that.
bought all the tie-ins, I'd love to hear from you. Cause
Yeah, I mean, maybe that completed it and made it
I don't
even
know.
better.
Was any of them worth reading? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
It was,
So, I
this
mean,
was exhausting to read.
Yeah, just 10 issues. Well, 11, really, because let's face it, number 0 was a number 1 issue. Cheaters.
Yeah.
So I would say inconsistent art. I would say the story beats
that was
are
hard.
either started or finished outside of the main book. And then that ending and the lack of clarity, lack of memorability there. For me, that knocks it down to a go. I still think it's a story worth reading. And man, like I really want to fight for the things I like about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think just looking at it for what it is and not going the headcanon route of what it could have been, what I can make it, I would say it's a go.
Yeah. I can see that. I think I was just really I thought it was a cool idea.
I did too.
Yeah,
like that first couple issues were really gripping too. Like just to see, like, I can't believe Captain America is acting like this.
And
It's
there's
crazy.
a part of me that's just like, I don't know. I just like it when people they get a little they overreact to something, it's going to go status quo. Enjoy the ride. So part of me is like, it's just funny that
You like stirring the pot, dude.
I do like stirring the pot a little bit. I mean, especially with stuff that doesn't matter. In the end, I don't want to stir the pot with people's, real lives, but with something like this, like, dude, A, it's comic books, and B, it's Captain America, the guy who wears pirate boots, and he's going to go back to being Captain America at the end of this. Like, don't take it too serious. Anyways, overall, there you go. Secret Empire. I wonder when Secret Empire 2 comes out.
Oh gosh, please no.
They're all, who else is a Nazi? Squirrel Girl.
You know what I feel like? It could have been, if you look at back with, I mean, we can move on from this. We're talking forever on Secret Empire. But to think back with the first Civil War
Mm-hmm.
and how that led to, wasn't Secret War was after that, right?
Yeah.
After Civil War. And then Dark Reign, where
Was it Dark Reign?
Norman Osborn takes over because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't trust any of the heroes anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if that's where they were headed. If they were kind of planning some sort of reflection of that in Civil War to Secret Empire, and then some sort of similar thing where it's like, oh yeah, we can't trust any of the heroes. All they do is fight with each other. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why it felt like a weird transition into Legacy and be like, no, but everything's awesome.
Yeah, we're all good. Captain America walked across the earth. He made it cool. Came over. Captain America's like, hey guys,
He's going to make sure and
Knock
clear his
on
name
doors. He's all-
person by person.
I know that I may have, lost your faith, America, but guess what?
I'd like to introduce you to
I'm
your
back.
own personal Captain America.
Hi, your own personal Captain America. If you need anything, you can find me in the Yellow Pages. Anyways,
Here's my card.
here's my card. All right, moving on from one Jack Kirby creation to another.
Mr. Miracle, number 1. This was actually a few weeks back, right?
Yeah, this is almost
Probably like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks out, but we just haven't had a chance to chat, and Matt Ritchie didn't have
I
a chance to
just
read it.
finally read it. And I'm telling you, from the first page, like
Yeah.
just at first page, I'm like, yes, please. Like,
Yeah.
I love this art.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that more than anything. Justin's probably going to have plenty to say about it because he knows more about Mr. Miracle than I do. But if I
man.
could just say, leading off, that this is a beautiful comic book.
Yeah.
It's, and not just beautiful in the traditional sense, but that like it's captivating, I would say, because not all of it's traditionally beautiful. Like, oh, that's such a pretty drawing, but like, man, the way that grids are used in it, the way that text is used in it, I knew it was going to be one of my favorite sequences, but the sequence where he's being interviewed on a talk show,
Yeah.
and that TV screen grid, like that is just magic.
Yep.
It is so good. And here's the thing. I don't have that much of a history with Mr. Miracle. I have like a cursory knowledge of who Mr. Miracle is and who Big Barda is and kind of all of the new gods. So maybe Justin, make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
So the basic premise is you have the High Father, who's like the good new god.
Yes.
You have Darkseid, who's the bad one.
Mm-hmm.
They each have a son.
Yep.
They get switched, or is it some sort of deal they work out?
There's a deal.
Where they raise each other's sons, yes?
Yes.
So it's like a truce, I guess, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So you have Mr. Miracle is actually the son of High Father, raised on Apocalypse with Darkseid.
No.
Well, by Granny...
By Granny Goodness, yeah.
But then you have Darkseid's son, Orion, raised by High Father.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the main gist of it.
Yeah.
Big Barda is... She was one of the...
Female Furies.
Yep. One of the female Furies, the warrior on Apocalypse, fell in love with Mr. Miracle, whose name is Scott Free. I love that his name is Scott Free. I forgot about that till I started reading this book again. I was like, oh yeah, his name's Scott Free because he's an escape artist. Why not?
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of those characters show up in this book. You have, is it Oberon?
Oberon, yeah.
Makes an appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the general gist of it. I'm sure there's other details that Justin can talk about, but man, I loved how the book looked. It was captivating. It kept me moving through the whole thing. Like, I actually want to go back through it again. Yeah.
That Mr. Miracle's got one of the coolest costumes. I love it.
It's so cool.
And I actually like when he doesn't have his cape on.
Agreed.
But really cool character. Like, he's just, an escape artist from another planet living in America, and he's a superhero, but he's also like he puts on shows. And so already that idea is like intriguing. Like, dude, he has like pretty much Las Vegas like escape artist shows. It's like if David Blaine was a superhero and wore green and red tights.
That is pretty cool. I mean, what's your history with Mr. Miracle? Because you like Mr. Miracle a lot already, even before this story hit.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes back to Justice League International. That's where I first saw him, was in that. And I was like, whoa, this guy, he was a superpowers figure. That's all I remember, is he was a superpowers figure. And that's it. But I didn't have him. He was just on the back of the box. And so it was like, that's where I think my emotional investment came. Okay, they made a toy of him. He has to be cool. And so he always flew around on these like white discs, and that was cool. And that's how I got to know Mr. Miracle, was through the Justice League International comics. But other than that, I didn't
call
read
back to that book.
Yeah, I didn't read like a lot of Jack Kirby Fourth World stuff. I just didn't. My experience was through that. And so
it's just such a cool idea for a character.
Yeah.
Like Jack Kirby, man, like so creative. Like, I mean, I feel like that's one of his most talked about traits, was just his originality. Like he was always thinking of crazy stuff, man. Yeah, he's a king.
Yeah. This comic, dude, is actually not what I thought it was going to be. It's completely going to be this crazy like mystery. Because should we spoil it?
Yeah. Okay. So let's say spoilers. Like maybe just general thoughts, and then we can go into spoilers.
Yeah. So general thoughts. Again, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, hey, Mr. Miracle is going to go on adventures and
I thought like more like swashbuckling kind of stuff.
I didn't know it was limited. Okay. By the way, I thought it was going to be this new ongoing comic.
Oh, no.
It is limited. 12. It's 1 of 12. So, which makes me
got a whole year of
more
Mr.
excited
Miracle.
Because I'm like, oh, it's this. They're going to do something special. It's not just an ongoing,
a beginning, a middle, and an end to a story.
There you go. Hopefully they land it. So,
Tom King.
You jump in there,
dude.
Tom King.
So
you jump in there, and you're already intrigued. Like, what the heck's going on? Like, he's having this weird dream.
Sorry, so you're going into spoilers now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, because I think the opening... So you have the opening page, but then right when you get to that second page, you're like, whoa, okay, this is a different kind of story than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So spoilers from here on out.
Yeah.
Second page,
Mr. Miracle is like...
Did he slit his wrist?
He slit his wrist, dude.
Yeah.
And so
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. So... did you get anything like he's on a talk show with Godfrey? Godfrey is from the
G. Gordon Godfrey.
Yeah. He's part of the. He's actually he does have a talk show at times in the DC universe, but he is from.
He works for Darkseid, right?
Yeah. Glorious Godfrey.
But they're talking on his show, and he was saying that, oh no, it's just a thing. Like, I thought maybe the only thing I couldn't escape would be death because I'm bored with all these traps that I couldn't escape.
And so,
but then it seemed kind of weird towards the end of that exchange, though.
Yeah,
right.
There's a weirdness going on. Like, did you really escape death? Is what he's asking him, and he's.
And so then I'm like, wait, is any of this actually happening, or what of it is actually happening?
Yeah.
Because then you have his exchange with Big Barda.
Yeah, he's like,
and he's like, yeah, Oberon, like he's here with me, and she's like, he's been dead.
Yeah. So
is
who
he
knows
going
what's going to
crazy?
happen? There's like there.
Is he still in like a coma? Like, did he not actually get up, or does that part?
What does it mean for a new god to die? Like, we don't, there's like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And so it's definitely, I feel like it's going to be one of those comics that says more than it's actually saying. Does that make sense? Like, there's going to be like, I think, I don't know if it was Tom King himself. I don't know if he said it, but he's like, I wanted something that's going to be akin to like Watchmen. Something that you can go back and go, wow, Mr. Miracle, that was cool. It's saying something.
That's really.
I don't know if he said it, but I was reading.
Shooting for the stars right there.
Yeah, I was reading an article that's it, and I don't know if it was him that said it or somebody else that said this could be, as good as that.
I would agree with whoever said that.
Yeah.
After reading this first issue, I'm like, oh, I can see how you could say that it's at least going to feel like a similar type of story.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't quite reach the heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like that is. Yeah, it's just really, really good. I think even going back to the art, like the choice of coloring on stuff is really incredible.
Yeah, the whole thing is fantastic.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
When he talks to Big Barda at one point, he asks what's wrong because her eyes are brown instead of blue, and she's like, "My eyes have always been brown." Mm-hmm. What color are Big Barda's eyes?
I couldn't tell you that.
Hey man, you're the expert.
They're wrong. I'm not like an expert on Big Barda, man. But apparently they're not the right color. So from the story, I'm like, oh, I guess her eyes are not that color. I can't go back to any.
I really thought you were going to be more helpful than this.
I'm sorry, dude. I can't think of them being any color. Like usually when a character's eyes are blue, like it pops out to me like, oh, their eyes have always been blue.
Right.
Big Barda, not something I've ever noticed really. I just know that she's big, but maybe her eyes have always been blue. So
yeah,
she's really Big Barda because she's like 7 foot, 5 or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, man.
She is very tall.
She's very tall, very protective of her man.
Yeah, she is.
So yeah, dude, I love this comic. I think everyone should get it.
Anything else you wanted to say about Mr. Miracle?
Just, you better go buy it. I feel like this comic is going to be one of those books people are going to want to like pick up and own. This is probably one I'm going to buy collected. Like in the end, I hope they put a freaking DC Absolute out on this thing.
Oh man.
Because I just don't want to wait. I can't wait because I've been so excited about this and it's so good. And it makes me want to read everything else that Tom King has done. You were telling me earlier, like we should read Sheriff of Babylon and him and Gerard.
It's the same team, and if it's anywhere near this kind of stuff, I get it. It's not like a superhero book, but man, if it's that quality, I'm up for it.
Yeah, it's definitely that team's good, man. Him and Mitch Gerard, who did that Batman issue a few back before the War of Jokes and Riddles with Swamp Thing. Great comic, dude. Great comic.
So good.
So
cool, man.
So what would you rate this, man?
I would rate it a gotta go.
Yeah.
I think you're missing out if you don't read this book.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a 100% gotta go. I know it came out 3 weeks ago or so. Go get it. If your shop has it, get a second printing.
Hopefully the second printing is coming your
something.
way because that's probably going to be a little difficult to find.
Yeah. It makes me bummed that I still don't have I had the action figure set of Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, and it came with a little Oberon. I bought it through DC Direct a long time ago. And I sold all of that stuff, and I wish I had it because it's cool. So, yeah, man, if they make a Mr. Miracle movie, I'm there.
Oh, yeah, dude.
They should totally make a Mr. Miracle movie. And I want to see more Mr. Miracle stuff show up because this is cool. All right, man.
Dig it.
Cool.
That's the comics.
I think
that's the show.
And that is the show. So,
hey, but we usually wrap up. We talk about, visiting our various pages, social media accounts. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube page, but hold on a second.
Wait a second.
I think we have some good news here.
We got some good news. We were able to claim our name to fame. So you can now go to youtube.com/Let's Go Podcast and check out the show there anytime you want. If you just want to watch a screen of art. But here's what's really great about that. We didn't want to start creating any type of video and stuff yet until we claimed the name. So now it opens up some doors for us to do, hey, maybe me and Matt can do a little more in depth of a review and do it in video, maybe like 10 to 15 minute video, and we can go over some of the artwork and stuff. And so we'll work on creating some of that content. But thanks to you listeners. So keep subscribing. That's even better. Share the videos and listen to them in the background. If that's how you choose to listen to the podcast, great. Comment. We'll comment back to you. So that was really awesome. Really excited about that. But you can also follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Let's Go Comics Show. That would be so great. Go to iTunes. And look up our show. Subscribe. Rate it with 5 amazing stars. The stars from the Tiara of Wonder Woman. Give us 5 of those. And then give us an amazing review. Say, I really love listening to Justin and Matt talk about comics. I was encouraged to spend tons of my disposable income on comic books. And so,
speaking of 5-star reviews and positive comments, we have a new one here, fresh off the presses.
What?
This is from Batman 86. Maybe they're confused because I said Batman 86 one time.
Matt just ruined
that was my fault.
Screen.
I steered you in the wrong direction, whoever you are. They say, go get it. This is a great podcast for pop culture fans, mainly comic book, TV, and film fans. It shows there can be disagreements in a fun and mature manner. The chemistry between the hosts is apparent and engaging, making each episode an enjoyable listen. Let's go.
Awesome. Well,
I mean, it would have been nice to have a gotta go at the end there, but
hey, you know what?
I'll take what I can get.
I will take it. And
that's how I live my life. Take what I can.
_Batman _86. Thank you for the positive review and the 5 stars. Again, that makes all of our hearts happy. And you know what? You are in the running for some free Let's Go merch. So look how easy it was. It took him probably 5 minutes of their life. And look at that.
Yeah.
They could potentially be wearing clothing.
As many other people as they could, if they're not wearing clothing.
They're not already wearing clothing.
If you're not already.
They'll be wearing clothing later on.
Or just a coffee mug. I mean, you could wear that too.
So there you go.
Yeah. As many people I'm sure have said before, thanks, Batman.
Yeah. Thank you, Batman. Here's the thing. We were running a little bit of a contest, and I know it's past, but we're still going to keep going. We're going to take it to the end of September.
Oh, wow.
We're going to take it to the end of September. What we want you to do is leave us a review on iTunes. And what we'll do is at the end of September, we'll take everyone who's left a review, and we're going to do a drawing, and you will win anything that you want that's available in our Let's Go merchandise store. So if you go to letsgocast.com/merch, you can take a link and see all the type of stuff that we have. And we'll get you a t-shirt, a cup, a sweater, a hoodie, whatever it is that you want, we will get it for you. Our way of saying thanks, and also our way to manipulate you into leaving a positive comment and 5-star rating. Please do that. It helps the show. It helps us bump up on the ratings, and we would love to have a bigger audience. So there you go. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at j_rocka. You can fight with me, talk to me, be friends with me. I would appreciate that.
I'm trying to get him to stir the pot less, guys.
Yeah. I'm honestly not stirring any pots. Pots are being thrown at me, and I'm like, usually I ignore them. And then sometimes you're like, I don't even understand you as a person. And I'm trying to engage and talk you off a ledge, and you just, I just don't know.
You can't talk me off this ledge.
Because I'm sitting under a bridge. That's why, because you're a troll.
Whoa.
Hey, there you go.
Yikes.
All right, Matt, how can people find you and not engage with you?
At Matt Ritchie, MatTricey.
Awesome. Well, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.